All right, all right. Can you all see me? Greetings, Sister Cherry. Can you all see me? My stream is not coming up for some reason. I don't see it, so just in case. Gonna see what's taking it so long. Live 1 and 17 minutes. I don't see my screen up, you all. I don't see it up. Can somebody tell me I see you well? Wow. Well, I got a black screen here on my end. Wow. That's the first time I ever seen this, y'all. So I got to, at least I can see y'all in the chat. My screen is not showing up for some reason. This is the first time I've noticed it. I guess you two want to try me. And since okay, all right. I just got to act like I'm talking to y'all like I would. And I'm looking at the chat. And so I won't be able to see all the funny faces that I make on this Wellness Wednesday. How y'all doing? Happy Wellness Wednesday. It's me, Dr. Shell. I literally have a black screen here, y'all, but I can't at least see the chat. So maybe it will decide to come in when it want to. I hope that I guess this clearly has to be a YouTube thing because I've been able to check my laptop and see everything else, but not the screen for some reason. I even see my voice app working just fine. Okay. So I can see you well, she said. Oh, wow. Okay. I believe you, Sister Cherry. I do. I already know. I already know. So I'm just going to work this, y'all. I told you I ain't got time to let these people and their technology get the best of me here. I refuse to go back in to reboot again because of the because to me that's kind of like trying to play mind games with me. So since I don't see you all on here anyway, I'm just going to continue on. How's everybody been doing? So you all, I am most definitely going to be relying on what I see in the chat. So perfectly, you all made it through your Mother's Day, well, week, thus this far. And the reason why I say Mother's Day week is because there's no way that we should only have one day to celebrate the women's that have birthed the nation. Uh-huh. But it is a good thing that somebody thought enough to set aside a day of honor like they have for everything else. Um, but most definitely, if we had gotten to a place to where we listened to the wise women that were the herbalists that went out and also gathered herbs to help heal the land, and that fully understood the importance of us healing our families' bodies, our men and our children and ourselves, then we wouldn't be in this condition now where we would have to tune in and have so many talking about how to eat to live and how to um, allow our food to be our medicine and our medicine be our food. There's no way we would be at this place where even I would have to feel compelled or compassion to come before you all, to have to do a Wellness Wednesday if we had listened to those or carried on the good traditions of how to feed our families from the earth, from good soil, from a healthy place. We know how this has come about because somebody must not have respect for their mothers that did go out and farm and their fathers that did have land. We know what they've done. They've stole, they've robbed. And no, I did not plan on starting off this way, but I just thought about it. And so I'm once again, for those who all that may be tuning in, I do see a few just tune in. I'll give a little bit of time for a few more to come on because I know it's in the afternoon, the first day that people have, but I cannot see my screen at all except for what's in the chat. So I'm gonna say that throughout until it comes through. Maybe it will come through. I don't know. But I know this has to be most definitely a YouTube thing. It's definitely a YouTube live streaming thing. And I don't want to lose you all. So I'm not going to tune out. So I'm going to freestyle this. And so today, yes, it's supposed to be how to eat to live, a beautiful conversation. Oh boy, with my dear beloved sister for wow. yesterday evening for a good long while yesterday evening. And not going to call her name yet, but I could tell you this much. I appreciate you mothers, your wives, your sisters, especially those with discerning of spirits, um, that really do have a heart for taking care of your families, and that is in the fire. And I have to speak on us today because this is who I've been speaking to the most about this subject matter. This beautiful wife and mother did not take out the time to talk so much about herself as it was so much about her concern with the health of her husband, the health of her children, and making sure that she practices what she has been learning about alleviating eating, taking away the meat from out of her way of eating. And she too had indeed got to a place to where she was quoting that it's a sin to eat meat. And she wanted to know my take on it because she had been listening for a while. She's not a newcomer, and I had to explain to her that yes, I am going to have to address it because I can hear beyond what's been said, and I know there are some that's afraid to ask the question. But guess what? I'm a firm believer that fear is not of God, is not of the Creator that I serve. And so I say, ask away, y'all. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And I explained to her that no, because the way it had been given, it discouraged her husband, which had suffered from a grave condition. And yes, he's doing better after a year, but he still consumed meat because that's what he grew up on. And he is a grown older man. This is 30 some years of marriage with children, garden that have what they need, grapes, pears, all of the good stuff. And I had to explain to her before I get enriched into. So for those of y'all that they tune in later, you guys gonna see this. You're gonna have to rewind back so you can catch this. I said, do not destroy your marriage. If you have you a good mate that's willing, that's not trying to force you to kill them, meaning trying to force you to give them death, that is allowing you to take care of your body and do what you need. Your son, yourself, you're reaping the benefits of eating to live, and the part two version of that it was never truly intended, in the belief that it was never truly intended for us to eat meat, but to eat the fruits and the vegetation and the herbs for the healing of the body. I am a believer in that. However, I cannot honestly, hear me, hear ye. I will not come before you. I all told you. If I'm coming, I'm keeping it 1 million. It's going to increase to a billion truths. I am not in a position as a person that's yes loving, caring, with the fought for many rights of life, from the death care industry to the healthcare, real true healthcare industry. In no position, even been raised in church all my life. I've never gotten into the streets and wowed out. But because I am not completely denounced from of any wrong or no sin against my flesh or my body, and I had to learn just like you all. God didn't make me y'all judge. I don't see nowhere in no Quran, no Bible, nowhere outside of what I have seen in the seen gospel. But since we like to go off of these other main books where it states it is a sin when we have been given permission to eat certain meats, it was very specific in Leviticus and all throughout. I'm not going to play that game with you all. I'm not going to, I said it before. I'm not going for ratings. I'm not going to do it to say that I'm the first who did it, or the second, or the third, or the last. I'm not finna act like I'm y'all mama, or like I'm God, and try to condemn anyone just because I have not eaten meat or practiced eating meat or death for a long time now. It does not give me a right to sit on a high horse when I know that there's pollution all over this world, and there are other sins and other things that's unclean, chemicals, sleeping with people that was not meant to be your husband or wife. You're getting infections, diseases. We were not supposed to practice. I'm going to give you an overall. This is what the mother of the earth does. It corrects all children. So I can stand in that gap and say that it's not good for us to do anything that we know that's harmful to the body. Whether that's eating toxic white flour dough, whether it's eating any type of biochemical graded, chemically frankenfoods at all. Vegan junk food, y'all heard it right? Like, share. Anything. I don't care if you had to get the shots, whether you've been in the military, whether it's been in school. It was not right for us to allow any chemicals in our bodies. And because I too have received these things when I was in school, because my mother too, just like so many others, was not educated enough or did not have the conviction. And neither was her spiritual leaders teaching this. She did like the majority. And we had to receive poison and injections within our bloodstream. Now, you can call that the sins of the mother and the father due to being participating in the destruction of our health and wellness, due to the lack of knowledge, is what we can fairly say. Now, that's the scripture. Now, our people, we like to quote it all the time. Stick with that, you all. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. What you know? No. You practice. When you really know that something is good, but let's be fair to ourselves, or else we'll never get off of the death train to no glory. You won't stand a chance of adding an extra 10 to 20 years to your life if you go by way of sickness to the body. If we're practicing beating ourselves up and trying to perfect this overnight. So no, I have not found any, I don't know no one personally. Listen to me closely. I know no man, no woman that has this perfected 100%, that's in any position to say or to criticize anyone that's on the path of trying to learn how to eat to live the ultimate way, to use it as a whip to say, to the point to where we're influencing marriages and other people, to the point to where we're helping to destroy other people's marriages, and you're running your mates away. You only have rights. What's fair and what's just is to say, I prefer not to eat that. You can even make your stance and say that because this is making me sick, what you are doing. We see many cases as a certified drug counselor. Of course, I see cases where there are those that are hooked on other powerful drugs that can have a physical effect and sickness and illnesses and STDs towards their mates or whoever they choose to lay with. But we don't see, once again, we don't see anyone making big proclaims of that. And that's happening more than anything that's causing sickness among our people, that's messing up the wombs of our women to the point to where it is affecting the health of our unborn children. And we see that all over the world, all over the world. So if we're not criticizing, my point is that if we're not criticizing one another and our parents, for those of us who unfortunately have been victimized by having injections of chemicals and unclean foreign objects placed within us, no matter what kind of badge or honor you are going to get for it, then I don't believe that we have, and whether it was through school shots, and you grew up eating Captain Crunch, McDevils, and everything else, we're not in a position. None. I come across none. Even the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that wrote this book, How to Eat to Live, stated that he experimented, but yet still had wisdom. That's what I love about a lot of our elders. They have wisdom of how to word things to draw a mass of people. That's why they were able to get thousands of the inner city Black people and many others, and even Caucasian people, you all, even our Italian, our Mexican people, all people from all walks of life, from Africa, all over Asians. Don't be deceived. God is not mocked. Been able to influence them by the way they delivered the message. If just because I win a few hundred does not compare to millions. That means that we have to be wise by how we teach. And for those of you all have been watching me, you notice that I have been one that has spoken out. I've spoken out about us being careful as leaders and teachers when you claim to love our people and you don't realize that through your hostility or through your self-righteousness or through your thinking because your sins are hidden, that we have the right to pick out one sin, and because it makes you some money and it gets you some attention, you're destroying households, including your own, and you have, and they have destroyed their own homes and have destroyed their own seed and children, have partaked in it. I hear the amens. I hear to teach, Dr. Chefs. We have to be careful. It always takes the mothers to have to bring the families back together again. We are a family in this. Everybody is at different levels. And it doesn't matter who gives $1 or who gives 100 or who gives 1,000. We all have to each one teach one. That's why I often say a leader needs a leader, a teacher needs a teacher, a counselor needs a counselor. I have many teachers and counselors from all walks of different teachings and education, not just people that's famous on TV that has something to profit off of me. Y'all be careful. Don't destroy your families over nonsense and over evil, wicked people thinking that they are doing the right thing, but they're going about doing it the wrong way. Don't do that. Well, Dr. Shelf, how can you say that? I know. My family has been destroyed because of that, and I'm rebuilding it myself, bringing back that love and that recommission. I cannot. Yes, that's going to be a day-by-day journey. But it's mostly because I admit I cannot stand self-righteousness. I cannot stand hypocrisy. I cannot. All for the love of money and attention. And it's so hard. I get it, you all. It's so hard to tell a lot of times because it's helping some people. Because most of us, especially as Black melanated people, we are used to being abused, especially verbally. I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in one of the most roughest cities ever, even though we had a village. And yes, I grew up in a family around people that Joan and jested you to death. Laughter was supposed to be part of the healing, but it was very toxic. To the point that everybody got a nickname, and you don't know hardly anybody's real so-called name that they was given from birth. But I still got sense enough to know that it wasn't right. To this day, I do not call my cousins, my brothers and sisters, the things that they were called, because I understood real early on that this right here was designed to tear down our people. It's called dogma. Look up the word dogma. D-O-G-M-A. And I'm one that no matter how loving and supportive I am, I'm the one that, yes, I do come after those who say that they big and bad and bougie. I am. I realize that that's what my backbone was given to me as a mother. That's why God gave it to me. But everybody else afraid to say it. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not supposed to be afraid to help save our people. I'm not supposed to be afraid. We've been traumatized enough. This is the reason why it's been given to you all in traumatizing ways. But as you see, you draw more people with honey than you do with vinegar. You draw more. Other than that, you're going to have to be the one that's going to be buying and bringing the honey for the rest of your days. And when you run out, ain't nobody going to be around. Ain't nobody going to, they send back men. We have been as men, as the Bible for our spiritual, religious people. Let me say religious people. For my religious brothers and sisters, your Bible says that if you live by that sword, you're going to die by it. It was making reference to your words. We have to be careful how we treat the people of God. We got to be careful how we treat mothers. You have to be very careful intentionally, and not just the ones who's working for you. Not just the ones who give you something, but of all, because that's respecting God's creation in its entirety. See, we like to pick and choose like we picking and choosing our different foods. That's all right, because He gave us options. But it's never okay for us to pick and choose which sins that we want to point out because you figure you done mastered one out of 1,000. That's never okay. See, I'm one that, yes, I was fortunate to be raised in the Bible thumping church where I don't play around with it, because I know that there are things that are in their writings, no matter how much we like to debunk it, no matter how much we like to debate. I've heard many scholars debate, but I still thank God He gives me sense enough to be able to rightly divide what we can actually use in it for today that truly makes a difference. And what and how we use it to kill each other. The person who's using the tongue to kill the most will always be one that many will sit back and wait to kill with their tongue. See, many of us, you got to realize that the social media, these platforms are not trained. They didn't train everybody that could jump up on there within this past 10 years and talk. They've had no real training on how to talk to our people. None. They go by voice. Yeah, we have to pay attention now. There is a scripture that states that in the last days that if we would, I'm being paraphrased, and if we weren't careful, that they said that the very elect would be deceived. How is that? That means that it would be someone that's able to draw in people because of how they talk and their voice. I am one. I'm able to gather a few people I have not sat down and wrote down that I want millions and billions of people to hear me. But there are those who have, and they're willing to do whatever and say whatever. Whatever. Whether it be the right timing, the wrong way, a good way, a wise way, false way, as long as they're getting the attention for it, that they'll let things come out of their mouth in an unwise way. Proverbs does speak about the foolishness of that tongue. And how he says it's a very unruly thing. This is one of the reasons why, in my experience, I have learned that when I'm my most upset, you're not going to hear me say too much. The fact that I'm coming before you all now means that I'm good. I just understand that there are certain things that I have to address when I see it start to destroy or get in a position where it's starting to destroy families, whether people realize it or not. You know, they got a saying that you can mean a lot of good intentions. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Now I start to question, is the intention good, or do we just get when we get in certain positions, do we just get so headstrong and so narcissistic and so arrogant to the point where we don't care who we destroy? We don't care. We cannot use Allah. We cannot use Yeshua. We can't use Buddha. We can't use all of these different gods and men and entities as an excuse to think that because they did it, we can too. We're living in a different era and a different time. He said that in his last days that he would pour out his spirit on all flesh and blood. I'm sure there's a lot of that would like to debate that too. Oh no, that right there, that was not meant. That's a misprint too, because you want to be the only one to be right, or only those who can be right that support you. Y'all, we have to recognize self-righteousness when we see it. I can guarantee you the ones who's hollering it's a sin for things and not truly taking out the time with love and kindness. Yeshua knew, at least it is written, the story is written, that even when he told them that you got to eat of my flesh, drink of my blood, that they thought he meant it literally, that 100 or so disciples walked away. He was left with 12. Isn't that the story for those who all know it? I'm just saying for those of us who like to use the Bible and the story as a means to make you seem like you're doing something righteous. It didn't say that Yeshua turned around and cussed them out. It didn't say that hey, Negroes, come on back here. See, that's what I'm talking about. All y'all going to hell. See, that's what I'm talking about. You gonna die from cancer, you gonna die from diabetes, and you gonna die from high blood pressure. Your whole families are going to be cursed. Did I say it right? I know I said curse, like country, like cursed. No, he didn't do that. He let them be. Do you hear any other writings about it? Even in the missing books in the word, in the Bible, do you hear any other writings about what happened to the ones that walked away when he spoke in such a language that made them think that, yeah, this man is crazy. He's trying to practice cannibalism with us. This is how cults are started. I told you we get a lot of them that come here from St. Louis, Missouri. Y'all, please listen. Please take heed. A lot of them. And I know this takes place in other states too, especially well-known states, very active states. Texas, California, Florida. Need I go anymore? If you've been born and raised here, you've been touched by Satan. We all have. We have to work on that. We have to purge ourselves. We have to purge. Yes, we do. We have to purge. We have to purge. Shalom, sister. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, and how are all of my brothers and sisters doing today that's tuned in? greetings, aloha, all of them that I can think of. Bonjour, all of them. Now we got to be careful. Very careful. Know what spirits that you're listening to. I know it's challenging when you see so-called good works being done, but that's what Satan does. Remember, he comes presenting things. He comes, remember, the scriptures state that for those who are believing that he'll come as an angel of light. And we have plenty around here perpetrating is just that. And you feel it, especially our women's in the womb, and our men do too. You feel it, something just ain't right. But because we get so caught up in the good works, when the scripture clearly states out of the same Bible that a lot of people are told this stuff from, that he gonna judge you of every work, every deed that you've done. Every. Even when we shut down these platforms, even when the government shut it all down, you're going to be judged of all of it. What about that? See, this is the reason why I don't go back and forth. I know the time may come that I have to teach from it, but it would be not necessarily for our people. It'll be because I have to sit in the gap for leaders. Our leaders. I said it. Leaders. I pray for leaders because I know we are the ones that's more influential to the people. People are like sheep. Unfortunately, they're like sheep led to the slaughter. I've been holding this in for a minute, y'all. For the past few years, to be exact. But it's been on my heart for a long time. When would the time come that I'll be able to speak to some of our people, to the few, however many God see fit for me to speak to? So that the blood is not on our hands for losing those who we could have actually helped. Just help. Assist, help. I'm saying this for a reason, you all. It is no more than a reasonable service. No more. Exclusions and inclusions based off of money. Come on now. Like nobody has anything else to offer. There's a passage in the Bible that says that the lady only had 2 pennies, 2 coins. But because her spirit, that's all she had. But I know some that laugh if you seen in $1. Well, this nigga, if 1,000 of y'all send a dollar, it'll matter. They didn't have to send you nothing. There's plenty other teachers out here, plenty other people that's helping, plenty to give to. It will always be the poor will always outnumber the wealthy. And the wealthy and the rich cannot beat it without the poor, because he used the poor to do the work for the wealthy and the rich. So yes, I'm down in the book. Yes, I am a May baby. I'm a May queen. I'm down in the books for the underdogs, for the people that you think less of, and not for any glory, but because it's the right thing to do. Somebody got to speak up. Somebody got to speak up. And I'm willing to. That's the mother in me. It's the sister in me. It is the God in me that says that this has to cut out. And we got to cut this out for those of us who know better. And you know better. It makes us know better than Bill Gates and anybody else that we're saying that's destroying. Guess what? They give more money than any of us, all of us put together. They give to more charities. Yes, they do. Look it up, you all. It's not like they're trying to hide it. For as many of people and women and children and the sex trafficking and all of the other sick sadistic things that they do behind closed doors and in front, since a lot of them have their own islands, they have their own land, underground, up above. They make sure that they give millions and millions of dollars for charity. They feed the hungry too. Some organic, some not. While at the same time supporting vaccinations that's going to help kill and cause autism and cause all different type of mental illnesses and cancer and everything else. But you're always going to have those that sit back and saw the charity that they gave and say, well, you know what, he's not that bad after all. Well, look at that. Our families would not have had no home and no land and no anything if their foundation hadn't did this, that, then else. We're going to excuse the fact that he wants to depopulate 75%, even though he said it out of his mouth. Well, I have those who say that they're righteous. I know those who tote the Bible and they say that they're righteous. And you all don't realize that behind closed doors, they say, yeah, we want God to destroy all these people. To kill up all the Negroes, kill them all. Make me the God. Why they calling out other people for wanting to be the God? Y'all listen to what's not being said. Listen, y'all. These people will come before a big fall. It's gonna go beyond a house and a car and a little money. I had to say this because it does bother my whole soul, my whole heart, when I hear that families are about to be destroyed because they're wrestling about where another grown person is in their journey of this health and wellness. Meat is not the only sin. I've seen more people taken out, locked up in prison, and killed over a lie. Over a lie. More so than I have from eating meat every now and then. And I know people like, those doctors say, so that means you support it? No. I'm being honest. I'm balancing this thing out. What you need to be mostly concerned about. Because we're not going to get out of this toxicity. They've done their due diligence and they will continue as long as God allowed them to pollute the air, to pollute the water, to pollute everything. And tomorrow is not promised according to the Bible. The tomorrow is not promised to none of us. Show me a holy man or woman that can tell all of us how long you're going to live. And I'll be impressed. I will be impressed. I will be impressed. Send me your greatest seers and prophetess. They can tell you a few things about a few people, but they can't tell you about everybody. Not everybody. Not everybody. But this is what being before these platforms do when we know we got the world at our exposure. It reveals what your spirit really truly is. And yes, some are going to see it and some will be blinded by it. And that's what they're after, is the blind, which is going to lead all of them to the ditch. You so worried about and so fretful and so afraid. It ain't never meant for us. You find that in the scripture, in the Bible, Quran, or anything where it meant for us to be afraid. That if there is a famine and people are scrapping or trying to figure out what to eat, and they're trying to feed their hungry babies, that God's going to be more concerned with that than how you disrespecting your wife, than how you're beating your children unfairly, unjustly, how you're mocking your elders, how you're lying, turn down people's name all for the sake of saving your own face because you are the coward. I told y'all 49 is going to be a good one for me. This is the year of Reveal 2024. And I merely come to warn. I'm here to warn, to shed light on what we all need to work on, including myself. None of us is exempt. No matter how much they said that we would not be able to run or hide. So you're going to quote these scriptures and we're going to throw this out here at these people. You better quote it all. You better do it all. Don't skip over the ones that apply to everybody. And that's what I've never liked. That's what I've never liked. And I'm sure God doesn't either. He doesn't like for us to pick and choose what we want because you think you have mastered something. And now that means you need to look down on everybody else. No, only when somebody's trying to force you to sin, force you to do wrong, force you to take in something that's not good for you, should you have the right to stand your ground. Now, I've been there. Or throw you a guilt trip. Well, it's just. No, but you are not in my body. You can't tell me what I need to ingest. I know what makes me feel good at this point. Thank you, but no thank you. Nothing wrong with standing your ground with that. You ain't got to throw a slew of scriptures to somebody that don't even believe in it. That's foolishness. That's just like how we used to say and mock the so-called sanctified in the Pentecostal churches for speaking in tongues and say, well, Paul said, that it'd be better that you not speak in tongues so that you don't sound crazy. That it'd be better that you speak in plain English, especially if you don't have an interpreter. Y'all come on now. Don't make me start a Bible study. You could bring all of them to me. Bring all of them. I'm that kind of universal. All praises be to God. All of them. Who knows? I may get there. I can just imagine just how many so-called scholars will come out. See, I've been prepared for this since the age of 8. I've been prepared. And I'm not being prideful about it. I'm just for sure about it. Getting stuck about what's right and what's wrong, you all. None of us should be in that place. Ask the question to those who truly care, and you're supposed to get a proper response, a proper answer. And if you can't get that, then one that is wise would just say, I don't know the answer right now. I'm boggled about that myself. Let me get back to you and see if I can get the answer for you. That is the best humble and the most wisest way. Because after all, in the scriptures, it does state that it takes a wise man. That means a wise woman too, to win souls. But if you have participated for years in destroying souls and you don't know the ripple effect of all that, especially for those that have been part of the government, then you're in no position. I don't see, let me use the proper term, I don't see how you're in that position to practice dogma for some likes or just to sound right. Yeah, I come to checkmate. That blood will be on our hands for destroying families over what we call one sin. When there's thousands, there's hundreds of things that we do wrong, whether you know it or not. And I know that we know it. That is destroying our families. That's destroying our communities. Hatred and jealousy and envy and pride. Everything that's not the 9 fruits of the Spirit is what's really truly destroying our people. If one even fully understood what it meant to receive love after you've been bullied, after you've been injected, after you've been rejected. If you even knew how to truly receive the love of God, the agape love, we wouldn't have so many failed families. We wouldn't have to. We wouldn't have to have it where you happen to teach and reach so hard. Remember, his way is easy, his burdens is light. If your burdens is not light, then I question, why not? Why not? Because I'm taking on the sins of the world. No, because you're taking on your sins in this world. That means that you're saying that you're Yeshua, that you're Jesus. If you taking on the sins of the world, where's your cross? No, he said, take up your cross and carry it. Your own burdens. Take care of your own family first. First. I had to tell someone. I know I'm talking about y'all. I had to tell someone, go back to your family. Because I'm not going to partake no longer in this buffoonery and this hypocrisy. Get it right. Get it right. Go get that right. And you know, all the person could do was once again find one or two things that they wanted to say against their mate. The reason why they're going to destroy, can continue to help destroy their family. I said, okay. Okay. You haven't been beat. You haven't been continuously cussed out. You can't say that it's health and wellness because you're unhealthy. Y'all, ask God for the discerning of spirits before you destroy your families. I know I have to. I'm just one that I can't be bought out. I cannot be. I know that about myself. You have many that say that and they mean that in levels. No, you just couldn't be made to do this one thing. But all the other 10 things that you think people don't know about, you did it. You did it. Come on, y'all. We all got things that we know the different ones don't know about. And you come before these platforms, or you go to your job and go, you know people don't know. So you can, what we used to say, call it fake the funk. But I'm not good at faking. I'm not good at that at all. I can act a little bit when it's a good message that I need to get across. On the string, meaning a playwright. When it's something that's rich. But health coaching, sessions, ministry, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do believe that this is why God allowed me to do this myself. When I first initially decided to come before our people, it wasn't because of the way you all thought that it was when you first, for those who've been following me for the last few years, it wasn't for the reason, it didn't happen in the proper order that it was supposed to happen. But it happened in the way that it needed to happen so that I wouldn't be gagged. Because, after all, here in America, they like to gag women a lot. They like to gag anybody that speaks the truth, but especially women. Because they can't handle the truth. They can't. Especially when there's nothing that you want from them. But for them to be honest. But for them to be righteous. Y'all, I fully understand. I do believe that God allowed me to have to be here and witness losing so many loved ones so that I could never, ever ever take it for granted. Never. So that I could never get on a soul of a high horse where I'm looking down at his people. To where I could never have pride until it caused me to go before a hearty fall. See, because what you get from man or from people that's just wanting something from you, it's not the same as when you're doing something from God. It's not the same. When God wants you, and he wants you in his purest form, you have to come out from amongst. You have to come out. You have to be ye separated, said the Lord. Really, Dr. Shelby, you really had to be separated. Look like the other person separated. Yes, because I prayed for the separation. If you weren't going to be practicing right, I prayed for it. Yes, I did. And some of you may get to a point to where you may have to, if it's costing you your life. It was his will, according to the scriptures, that we have life and that more abundantly. That we prosper and be in good health. It didn't say, you know what? But not for those Americans that come to the knowledge of the truth. It didn't say, you know what? But not for this part of Asia. That it didn't separate. It didn't separate. Even though we know now that the scriptures have been written from the motherland, the other land. First shall be last, last shall be first. So whoever get the chastisement, it'll be from whence it started. How many times have y'all witnessed somebody getting into a fight? And the first thing is asked is who started it? Why did it matter who started it? Why? But you could never say. You never knew until the fight got finished who would end it. Who started it? So who gets the accolades for starting a war? For starting a fight? Because the show didn't start here in America. Who's suffering from the most famines? I'm just saying. While we are in the place where we're causing more division, make it seem like some is better than the others. That's part of pride and self-righteousness right there. See, I've never had the privilege. Oh, thank God for my mama and my daddy and my elders. As the elders, you never get the chance to, because you already know. If mom and daddy them leave this house, if grandma and them leave, then they left instructions that no matter what little Johnny and little Sue knew who acted up, who went and stole something, who snuck in something, who went outside when they weren't supposed to get outside. If mom and dad would come back and find out that you that you didn't watch and that you didn't want and you didn't take care of that, and you didn't make sure that everything's in there, he's the oldest that got in trouble first. Even though they knew little Johnny and little Sue was always there, they hard-headed with the parents. Now, I'm not saying that that's right, but it's clearly how the order goes. Who started? Who was left in charge? Who was left in charge of making sure that the earth? Why are the people all over the world? Who is orchestrating this outside of what we like to use? The devil. The devil. Satan. I say humans, mankind. Those spirits have participation with people with hands, fingers, eyes, nose, ears. They're in high places with suits and jackets and looking all astute. Dr. Hill, why won't you just become part of the legislation since you're not afraid of anything? And in the body, you stand up to the president, you stand up to everybody to talk who's right to do good as legislators. Because I've watched and I paid attention to the order. I realized that no matter how much I've read that Bible from Genesis to to Revelations and books in betweens. And now working on the Quran and all that, because I don't have the options. Well, I have the option to choose who I want to counsel and teach and reach. I don't have that option, you all, to act like I don't see what's going on. And how in the end, whoever started it, gonna be finished with them. I don't care what the propaganda of Hollywood is showing us. Just look at history. We gotten history and scriptures and everything all out of order. Some is prophetic, meaning it's been quoted and seen before its time. Some is taken literally at that time. And what we have on social media is a bunch of different people and all over TikTok and all over these teaching from whatever they feel like applies to them. And they trying to make this universal. Scriptures talks about different ones that will come about that say that they are Jesus and that they are this and they are that. False gods. It speaks of this. We would have more of them than we would have righteous men. It's easy to tell the background of who is righteous and who is more worthy. Just look at their life. Look at their life. No, ain't no excuses about it. Well, they didn't talk to me the right way. Look at the pattern. That's why I said, no, it was meant for me to be to myself. Look at the pattern. See, I have developed my personal relationship, as they say, with God. Develop a personal relationship with him. I know what he said to me as a little girl. What I believe that has been said, let me state that right. Of what I would be doing, do what my mother and others have seen in me. That's been placed within me. I was never supposed to allow. See, I can say that I was never supposed to allow anybody to interfere with the process of helping to heal the land and to show forth the love of God to our people. I was never supposed to do that. But once again, in the last days, to be the very elect, if they're going to be deceived, then that means I'm not out of the woodworks for being deceived. But what I ain't going to do, that I kind of say it like that, I ain't going to do, is once my eyes, I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. And I can see the obstacles, all the obstacles that was in my way. I'm going to get to the bright day. I'm going to get to the shiny light, the light that needs to be shined in the midst of this darkness, in the midst of the manipulations, in the midst of the evil that goes beyond them tainting our food. Even in our stories, look at Disney, and they use the apple. The person that was always that came in a sweet spirit, always came like they was there to help. And they deliberately used a woman like they like to use Eve, and they take away the responsibility of who put them in that position. Who put them in that position? Who was in control? Who was in the authority that missed that? And then they always shows where a conversation that was being had. They wasn't watching. They was not watching and praying. I don't know about y'all, but I know that's how I miss some things when I'm not watching prayer. I'm focusing more on working, getting the job done, taking care of children, taking care of everybody else, answer the phone. Yeah, so you should miss some things. You can sense it, but I'm not going to address it because I got my hands tied doing other things. But now that I recognize that more each day about myself, as you all should too. That means there should be some growth, some perfecting that's taking place within you. I need to work on that. I heard that person, but I really didn't pay deeply attention to what they were saying because I was distraction is something else, y'all. All I heard was them say, no me. All I heard was them, well, I only saw them once out the month. But you still gave your life. It still affected what you heard in your ear canal to the point to where you're allowing that to destroy your family instead of working with one another. And I do know that there are some people that you just simply can't work with because they're just that demonic. They're simply just that self-righteous, especially when they want all the glory for themselves. We call it a God complex. Some of us do. So I come before you all on this Wellness Wednesday. No, I did not have this plan, but it was on my heart. It was on my whole heart and my deep in my soul to have to tell you all, don't risk losing your families. We are not in a time nowhere on this earth where we can afford to have husbands and wives, sons and daughters, mothers and their children, fathers and their children bickering over lettuce and tomatoes, over nothing. Nobody force feeding you. You get that much right. Now for parents, you're hearing a good thing and you know what's good for your family. Once again, that blood is on us. If you don't feed your children what they should have that's good for their immune system, it's good for boosting their immune system, let them cry. I said it. You can put them right there on the stream. Let them cry. Let them cry. Can y'all see me? Because this screen is still black. I just want to make sure. I need somebody to respond, please. Can you see me? I see that the numbers is climbing. That's what I feel led to do, because we all going to need each other. Please like and share, y'all. Please like and share. I'm sure there's plenty that's suffering from all of this is going on. I hear it all the time, almost every day. This is frustrating. I've lived it. But thank you, sister. But nothing of my family was destroyed based off of just food. Trust me, it was most definitely other sins. Other things that could cost somebody their life. That's the only way you have me to depart. If it's life and death. Life and death. Nothing else. I'm loyal to the bone. But not if you're trying to destroy the bone. I speak for myself. I don't care what lies has been put out there. What you think you see that's good. I can't afford to care about that more so than telling you all the truth. That can help set the captive free. That can truly help set you all free. We're not in a time, and we all see this. We're not in a time to where we can afford to be in division over things that is going to take a minute to clear out of your system. If your husband, wife working, they're working to cultivate something with you. They're not killing you with their tongue. And you're not trying to force them to kill you with your tongue. Meaning destroying your mind, depleting your soul. They're not destroying your children. They're not killing them off. And my God, I don't know what this is today, the word. If you say you, brothers, I'm just going to have to keep it 1,000, which I love you all, I do. I don't know what kind of spirit this is going on here today, where a man hollering at a woman when she won't let me. We talking about simping when it comes down to money and giving somebody, opening up the door and giving a rose. No, you simping when somebody's killing off your seed. You more than simping. I said it, yes. If you're going to sit there and watch somebody sit there and kill your seed, and then holler that I couldn't do nothing about it. Nah, I ain't accepting that. But you're big, bad, and bougie when it comes down to the world. That's an excuse. Brothers, we got to get more stronger than that. Rah. That's the time to stand your ground. Not just rah. No. Get your seed. Fight for that. Run around here like no Brian McKnight denouncing the seed because he done found somebody else of the other persuasion. Fight for your seed. You big, you got the money. You all powerful, you all loving. Make it happen. Now, that's the spirit of cowardness. The spirit of guilt. The spirit of self-righteousness. The spirit of narcissism. It came from out of you. How is it that it's only the mother's responsibility to have mercy and grace and keep in the grind for the most part? This is true for most mothers. Well, because y'all got the heart, because y'all got this, y'all got, well, y'all the one in, yeah. But then you the problem too. Remember, it's cause the single moms that this is happening. No, stand up. Especially to my Black men, stand up. Time to rise up. Stop making excuses. Well, I ain't going to jail with nobody. You know how to get it done. You know how to do it when you were sneaking and cheating and doing everything else. You weren't worried about going to jail. You weren't worried about that woman finding out and clubbing you across your head. You was risking your life then. You weren't worried about it when you was embezzling that money. You could have spent a whole lot of time. And I feel sorry. I pray for those who already been caught up. But take that same mentality when it comes down to keeping your families. Take that same mentality. Because I'm convinced that God is not honoring anything else that a man or a woman does that deliberately destroys their families. I'm convinced of that. Totally. It's nothing that can be said that would erase that. Get it right. Y'all, let's get it right. We got enough blood on our hands and been born in this place. Stop picking each other's apart over every little thing that you know is not causing you no harm, no real harm. We in the midst of a war already. And you all think that just because it's in certain states, it's a war once they start to destroy, tainting all of the water system. It's a war when they start polluting the air. It's a war when all the laws that's been changed now is in full favor of Congress, of the House of Representatives. Yeah, I said it. We're in a war anytime you see the millionaires and billionaires and those who's boasting about how much money they got taking off, trying to take off the other countries. After they done caused a mess. After they have participated, after they haven't done enough righteousness to be huffing and puffing. They hide like cowards. After you done taken from the people. And a lot of them are still doing charity work too. Just so when it's time for them to be judged by the people and by God, they well, but wait a minute, isn't that scripture, y'all? But he said, but I cast out spirits. Ooh, look how serious that is, to cast out spirits in your name. But I healed in your name. Ooh, you healed in the name. But I preached in your name. Oh, you did that too? I did this, that, and other in your name. Look at the term, in your name. And he gonna say, depart from me. You worker of iniquity. That means sin. I basically knew you not, because something was tainted in your heart. Something was off in your heart. You messed up your family. You partaked in messing up other people's family. And you thought that you could wash over this. This is for men and women. You thought that you weren't going to have to clean up that mess. You thought that you could use my word and teachings to deceive the masses, and thought that I was going to forget about that. You blamed it on Satan. You blamed it on this one. You blamed it on that one. You blamed it on this one, and you blamed it on that one, but you didn't blame yourself. Oh, yes, I did. I blamed it to me in my writings. I blamed it to a few people. No, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You let the love of Monty. Did I say it right? I meant to say Monty. I didn't mean to say money. I meant to say Monty. You let the Monty. You let the attention, the addiction of attention. You let the hand claps make you think that you were invincible. And he even taunted people with the thought of you not being here instead of getting it right. Being the most best righteous example by what you could be to your family. We're the first ones, especially as Black folks, to run around hollering about how we don't have our family. Yeah, the village is broken. Yeah, broken. They got the spirit of complaining. And yeah, the government did do some things. But now that you know, what you gonna do? What we gonna do? I'm throwing the towel. You treating it like a job? You treating your families like a job? Oh, well, you know what? They said they paying $24.99 on the plus benefits. Over here, they only paying me $20 an hour and half the benefits. So I'm gonna go over here and get this extra $5 an hour and these extra benefits. Even though I do get off for vacation time for my family on this one, and even though they're not pumping chemicals in my body, even though you sold out. You sold out. Just get it right, y'all. We got to get it right. Notice I say we on purpose, because I have people that's attached to me that has done this too. And I love them dearly. I'm not saying this to judge you. I'm saying this to remind us how important it is that we not be so caught up in one thing, when we got a million other things that's killing us off, that we are going to have to answer for. And if you don't, because you've done what you needed to do, said what you wanted to say, and got off of this earth, you leaving it over to your children. We call it generational curses. Not a now time do I tell my children that I was righteous about every decision that I've made. I've told them what I wish that certain decisions that I wish that I didn't make. I tell them all the time, I can't tell you how to keep the marriage for 40, 50 years because I ain't got there yet. I only been there for this much time. I said, but I can tell you how not to have one. How not to. That's important. You need to know your do's and your don'ts. You need to know your don'ts more. You need to learn how to choose. You need to know when to let go and when to let God. All of that is important when you're building anything. I've never seen a person to build anything, a foundation. I used to sew clothes. I used to make clothes, and I've never seen where if I missed a stitch or I went over there that I didn't have to take back the stitch and undo it. I had to get the stitcher, remove it to redo it and go back over it again. That's how life is. That's how life is. I had to go back. Well, what if you can't correct? I ate a burger 2 weeks ago, Dr. Chef, and And now my stomach is, I'm bloating and I'm this and that. So what can I do? Don't need it today. Don't need it today. Fast. You can only vent for today. Look back on that, write that down. Say, you know what? I tripped last week. But what I need to do is get back on track here, because God created this body to heal itself. So I'm not saying ponder on every sin and every wrong thing that you've done that you didn't get right. But what I'm saying is don't come with a haughty spirit about it, a prideful or false humility. It's the reason why that word false humility is there. Because you can't stay humble for past 24 hours. You can't. Some of us learn how to be real slick with that. I'm watching it. I pay attention to it. I just don't say anything most of the time. I watch the person. I was working with someone for the last 6 months now. And they was talking a real good talk about how much respect they have for women. Cool, brother. Very helpful. But all it took was for him to mix up a date and mix up some stuff. And woo, it came out. Cussing mad. It wasn't even the person's fault that he went off on. I don't care. And the sister had saying, hold up. Man, I don't deserve to be spoken to like this. Do you think they said they sorry? No. They were only thinking about what they wanted at that time. They would check on the sister every day, every 2 days. And ever since that sister said, we going to have a talk. I ain't heard nothing from her for weeks now. Well, then you're going to come out. It's going to come out. We have to give certain things time. And we can't afford to overlook it, sisters. And even some brothers. But I say sisters most because it's more of us than it is men here in America. It's more of us across the world. And since we're the ones who's carrying the seeds, we're the ones who's nurturing, we're the ones who's been the mother of the land. We see that now, that most of the all of the criticism goes on us. And then for the Bible told us, yes, you of Eve. It was the woman's fault. So since we're getting blamed for so much anyway, might as well call out the jokers. Yeah, I meant to say it. Might as well call out the jokers. That's acting like the God's gift to everybody. That's acting like you really mean the world of good to everybody. See how that turned out if you stop giving. Anytime you're doing something from the heart, that means that even if somebody don't give you nothing, you're hearing it from the mother. And you don't know what their situation is. I don't care if you do know the situation. You ain't putting no food on their table, no clothes on their back. And you telling them something that they can read in a book or they can read in the Bible. Hear me, hear ye. That's not love at all. What qualifies you, Dr. Shelf, to say that? Because I do it all the time. And I've had others to do it for me. If I had to get charged for every free information that was out here, we all would be broke, busted, disgusted, and can't be trusted. We getting taxed to death here. We getting charged high price for gas, everything else here. And no, ain't nobody at the beauty salon every day. And if so, then that means that they got a lot of money. They can afford to get hit like that. I said what I said, and I meant what I said, and I'm not taking it back. Y'all can say this video. Play it back to me if you think that I'm going another direction. Y'all, save your families if you can. Don't make excuses. Don't allow this how to eat to live make you destroy and make your job harder than what it has to be. That blood is going to be on your hands. You're reaping more on you than what you can afford to reap. Sow good seeds of love, patience, kindness, joy. And when it's time to be angry, be ye angry, but sin not. We all have to learn to be angry and sin not. You don't keep breaking a child down over and over and over again. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I know somebody need to. Thank you, Sister Cherry. You don't keep beating the child just because you had a bad day at work or because your money is low. You don't keep doing that because that man done cheated on you or that woman done cheated on you. You don't keep being evil. Don't take advantage of the poor. That's all throughout the scripture right there. If you're not counting people's bills and you can't go by a worldwide stat, they ain't came into every household. Come on now, y'all. Let's not be ignorant. Let's not be ignorant. They're not census in everybody's house. You don't know what somebody make. You can't call out what they can do and what they cannot do. Somebody came to me, oh, you got your hair done. You see, I see you went and got your stuff done for me. I said, no, I didn't. I did my own hair. How do y'all? Did I do okay? I had my baby girl to pour me in the back because my mirror, I didn't feel like doing it. I did my own hair. Needed a little bit more natural products. I'd say about $10. Well, what about your braid hair? 10. Really, doctor said, yes, really. Well, I got a reason to lie for. And I can easily take this and say, well, you know what? I've been helping to save lives and dealing with these things here. I deserve to go get me, pay for me $100, $200. That's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. You do what you do. You work for that. Don't let nobody make you feel bad. I said it. But be wise about it. Don't do anything that's going to be harmful to your hair. Don't do anything that's going to be harmful to your skin. That'll be my advice. Not my judgment, but my advice. Y'all, I'm reading here what is stated here because I know that time is of the essence. I know the summertime is here. Everybody won't get loose. Everybody won't know what to do. I get it. But some of us just want encouragement. I got a few minutes here. Some of this I can go through and thumb through, but because I'm not trying to get folks raveled up on the matters of the meat. How to Eat to Live. Elijah Muhammad. I'm picking out that you all can stomach here. Like, share, please. Eat 1 meal per day, it states. This is page 135. Never read this before. I admit it. Part 2, version 2 of How to Eat to Live. Eat 1 meal a day, nothing between meals, and eat the right foods. He didn't use it. He didn't throw a scripture at you. We eat meat, but meat is never intended for man to eat from the very creation of man. We have been eating meat. Why? Because the rulers of this nation of earth for the past 6,000 years is an enemy of the original man who has inhabited the earth from time unknown. Here goes scholars saying unknown to man. A people that have been populating the earth here for billions and trillions of years would not eat the wrong food if they had not been made, what I say, nobody forcing you, made to suffer for guidance under a made enemy of theirs. And the enemy does not follow what we, the original melanated men, had and was practicing. That's the lifestyle, y'all. Practicing. It is true, meaning it's been here for a long time. I know this is not brand new, y'all. This came out in the 70s, I believe. Yeah, the 70s. That's before, I think that's before me. Yeah, that's before me, y'all. Right? They saying ain't nobody never talked about it. It is true, according to the teaching of the Almighty God. It is true, according to the teachings of the Almighty God, to me, that he caused us to eat the wrong foods. He is doing it himself, and any man, the original black man, who, yeah, I said it, the original black man who comes into his civilization, what they call civil. He tries to force him to eat wrong foods. He tries to force him. What I say, if nobody's forcing you to, or trying to manipulate you to eat wrong foods, then you're okay. It's all right. You have freedom now. Nobody's tying you down and stuffing you with the wrong foods or drugging you. I have seen him doing this, and we whom reared himself and had the power over us after destroying the knowledge of self from us, meaning the knowledge of who we are as original men and women of God. Yeah, y'all finna go here. I'm finna go here because here we are. We're talking about us as original people that come originally from other parts of the world that ate from the earth. It's out here on TV now, y'all. It's out there. We know who's over Big Pharma. We know who's over these things now. So don't get all itchy, because if it ain't your person that you know that's of the other persuasion, just take the information. The right race, the Caucasian, eat all kinds of poison. Frogs, snakes, and all filthy scavengers of water. He eats it and invites you to eat it, but they know it is not good. How many of our how many of white folks y'all see on social media now that's telling you that's not good? They're saying that they vegan now too. They rallying hard in black folks. Killing animals. Oh my God. This is evil. They're going into the killing the cows. We're vegan. How many of y'all see them doing it now? But who's over the industry? It's their brothers and sisters. Ain't none of our black folks over the industry. He eats it and invites you to eat it, but they know it is not good. He eats it all kinds of fowls. Duck hunting, deer hunting, may I go on and on. Bird hunting, rabbit hunting. Whose sports are that? Is that our sports to go out and hunt rabbits, y'all, and eat it? No. But when we were brought on over here, all of a sudden, slaves had to be put out there, and sometimes they shot them too. Put out there to go run now, since our men were so fast and could run so fast. Get them out there. Go get it. Go fetch that. See how that work out? This is where we are now. This is where we are now. And he eats wild animals and beasts of the jungle. Oh, we got monkey meat today. They get our men over there in the military, and all of a sudden they start practicing those ways as well too. Starving some of them in the midst of war. That which he digs up out of the earth, of the live creatures that live under the earth. They eat worms too as a delicacy too. Surface ants too. He knows that it is not good to eat. He knows that it is not good to eat. That's why you see most of their books published and not ours. For himself and you too. But he advertised it, commercials. He advertised it that it is all right to eat. Everything he eats, he tells you it is all right. When you go to the doctor, don't they tell you most time that it's all right to eat your red meats and all of the other toxic stuff? Anything that they know. As a matter of fact, they bring it to you when you're in your sick bed. Even though you're constipated, even though you got high blood pressure, even though your liver is on, even though you got cardiovascular disease, they still gonna bring you that sick hospital food. You are bound to eat the wrong food for your consumption. So I warn you against the foods of this race. They do not eat the good food because they found us eating the good food and to make the world different from ours. Is it not different now, y'all, where everybody want to run somewhere else because our food has been destroyed? Come on now. There was something prophetic about this too. They had to result, but it was happening then as well too. They had to result to eating the wrong food. So they had to result to eating the wrong food. They had to result to eating the wrong food. They had to result to eating the wrong food. Get it? Did y'all get it? Did I sound like a robot? They had to result to eating the wrong foods. This, okay. So that they could say that they established something which we did not have or were not doing. Whew. The holy reference in the Quran and in the Bible to mankind as eating like a beast. They eat as the beast. This is true. They do not deny it. They do not. You're going to get a battle about it for the most part. The Bible's teaches. Now we're going to the Bible, y'all. We're going into the Bible. Like, share. We're going into the Bible. The Bible teaches us against eating their dainty meats. The Bible teaches against us eating their dainty meats, which is a warning that you may be eating the wrong meat. Since they learned that their time is limited amongst us on earth, they have studied every possible that was the enemy to us to make us to accept that enemy and like the enemy. The old filthy hog was not made to be eaten, taken as food for us, nor them either. Allah taught me from his mouth that they made hog for medical purposes, since he was the weak human being, created for the purpose of weakening the strong black man in every way possible. Have we not seen that? We not have a whole list of incarceration and slavery, and now they want to turn our men into gay. Can I say that? Turn our men into women to the point where it's a shortage, and they're not being killed off. They knew he was going to carry lots of diseases because of the essence that they were made out of themselves, the weak germ of the original black man. This is part of it, y'all. Whether we want to accept it or not, these thousands of different kinds of food that he offers you, be aware that they are not to keep you alive, but to kill you. Do not think that they are following the right way by eating that which he himself eats. Do not eat that which this book has warned you not to eat, and do not eat like the beast. Every hour or two, or even foods is offered to them. They will eat it. How can you live eating poison and keeping your stomach trying to digest food 24 hours per day? More next time. How to Eat to Live, 1 meal per day. I found that in less than a moment, and I know there's some that had to tune out, but it's okay. More next time. I know some of us, we get to the place where we can watch comedy, we can watch everything else and all different type of foul things. And the moment you hear certain things that you just, oh my goodness, you didn't get the meat of that. If you had to tune out just because you don't want to accept who orchestrated this. That's what I meant. Who started it? Who started it? Who started it? Yes, it has to be some accountability. But we're not going to sit here and act like overnight that because of the sins that were placed upon us, the wrongdoings, the manipulation of mankind, after they've gotten you sick and addicted, that this could change like that. No, we're not to beat each other up for this. We're not. We're not supposed to be going around taunting each other for this. Even I had to change my language when I knew, because I'm the one to feed my children. Well, mama, can we have pizza? Mama, can we have what? Because another relative will slip that to them or family member have. Ain't nothing wrong with that pepperoni. It's processed death, plastic. It is something wrong with that. I'm the one that's going to have to take my child to make sure that they're healed and they're well, or have to rush them to the hospital if they start gagging and having some type of reaction. I've gone through it already. I know. Calling the paramedics in just to give some breathing, some oxygen. Because Papa done sit there and done went in on my child at 2 years old. And I said they shouldn't eat that, but because of somebody else that I was around, insist. So I had to learn. But see, I had the right to call that out because I am the mother. I am the mother. And I knew that with that child stay up all time night sick, is all outdoors. I'm the one that had to be up all night with that child. So I'd rather hear them say, can I have this? And me say, no, I got something better for you. Got some fruit for you. I got some salad for you. I got this soup for you. I'd rather deal with that. Because one thing they're not going to do is starve and go hungry. I don't care how small and petite they are. They're not starving. For their height and their size, they right there where they need to be. And so, y'all, I'm just coming for y'all on this Wellness Wednesday to encourage you all to just ask God for patience, love, kindness, gentleness towards each other. We're all in this together. Don't allow anyone to trick you or to manipulate you into thinking that you're supposed to be one that's so much greater than everybody else, where you allow guilt trips and things that you know that is out of your control cause you to destroy yourself and your families. Don't do it, y'all. If they're not forcing you, just like how this passage is read, where they forced them to have to eat. Other than that, they were starved to death. I don't see nobody that's teaching is starving to death. We can see that. They're not starving to death until you do like some of them men that they claim in the writings, where these men of the old, where they stated that, they're seeing gospel where they almost died trying to purify themselves, then maybe I would think you for real. So you're not getting paid to do this at all. Your tax return don't say that you're making over 20,000-30,000 a year. I know that's low, but here in America it's low. Everywhere else is not. Then I'll be convinced that we serious about, really serious, and in an honest place with ourselves and how we teach our people how to eat to live. Didn't have to argue, didn't have to force, not one bit. And I hope to encourage anybody that's doing that that's practicing that type of dogma. You don't have to have somebody's entire life or way of life in order to learn something good from them. So I'm not taking anything away from anything that's good. But when it comes, it's been proven already by a black man, already been proven by an original man, that you can give this information to our people and help save a lot of people. And it's proven even now to this day for those who deviated from it and is trying to get back on track now. That was part of this way of lifestyle. They see it now because so many are getting sick. And they realize I got to get back to the foundation of what I was taught in the beginning. Some eat meat, some not. I've already shared with you all. I've been around people that lived to 100 and something years old, very coherent in the mind, whippersnappers, and they eat meat still from time to time. So I cannot equate eating meat to whether or not you'll live for a long time. Now, how healthy you would be if you're consuming certain toxic meat, I will say that yes, that will have a major effect on how healthy you would be, how well your organs are working, whether or not you got rheumatoid arthritis, whether or not you have digestive issues. I will say that. But more importantly, I believe that our issue is more of matters of the heart and how we treat one another, how we love one another, how we support one another. That's more of our issue. I think you all would agree. I appreciate all of y'all that is tuned in. I do have a class that I have to attend. I'm forever learning, but I don't ever want to be accused of never coming to the knowledge of the truth. And I desire the same for you all. I know it wasn't many questions this time because I was on a roll, and it's all right. We all get a chance. I promise I'll most definitely come before you all again. I just needed to make sure that I set this message clear for how to eat to live, that we all know that we're all in this together. Each one help teach one. Be patient. When you're sick, you're not going to act well. When you're taking in things that's not good for you, you're not going to be good. But for those you ought to know that you're on that journey and you're falling off and you reaping havoc in your home, my prayer is that you not do that. Because it's one thing to have to learn how to push back the plate to eat one meal a day. It's one thing to learn how to stop trying to figure out how you can avoid eating toxic meat. But it's another thing when you've torn up your family because of your flesh. The lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of your life. It's not worth it, you all. It's not worth it at all. Work with one another the best you can. Yes, people, I know some thought because of what I've gone through that it changed my heart. No, this is the reason why I speak so much about the heart. I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to heal from the many losses and the failed marriages if I hadn't had the heart of God in me. I'm telling you where my strength lies. People think it's just because I'm from East St. Louis, born and raised in East St. Louis. No. They didn't teach us how to eat healthy there. No. I learned how to stand up for my rights, but they didn't teach us how to eat healthy. Very toxic places. Yes, my mother made sure that we had a meal every day. But of course, as I got older, I realized that wasn't the best of the best, but at least we did have food. And I did. I had to reverse. I had to reverse a lot of that, no matter how good it tasted or how much of a taste that we acquired for it. But it cost my mother, it was part of, outside of stress, it was part of what cost my mother her life. But she can only be here for 62 years. Part of what cost my father his life. He's only my biological dad was here for 58 years. Do the math. Do the math. That's not a long time, y'all. So I had to take this serious. God bless me. On the 24th, I make it to 49, the same age that my mother's mother was before she passed. From high blood pressure on a very, very hot day. And for her father that passed at 20-something years old from a heart attack, getting off of work at a very, very hot day. So I can't afford to take this in. On my father's side, they lived to the 60s as well. My grandparents. I have none. I have no biological parents. So what keeps me going with this? The love of God. The love of God. Nothing but the love of God. I know it. I don't think it's mine. I think that if I didn't think about the impact, the positive impact that this could make on our people, I know I would give up. I like to draw. I like arts. I like singing. I like dancing. I like hearing children laugh. I like seeing couples walk down the street holding hands. I like seeing the families together. I smile to this day when I see it from my brothers and my sisters. And I know when I think about what I've gone through, I hear a voice saying, this is me. This is me in you. That I feel joy in my heart seeing somebody make it through. Because I know life is not easy. It's not. Not for none of us. Some of us, you may have a little bit more money. You may have all your family. But I know everybody have their own set of tests and trials that they have to go through. I'm not selfish in that way or one-track minded in that way. Thank God. Thank God. And I always think I always see it as a total honor to come before our people and speak life and encouraging word and not death. We see that every day you turn on the news. Every day you open up your phone. I love you all. I have to go. Don't forget, for those who want to call in, text in 618-388-8100 this month. I believe as of right now would be my last set for taking in consultations. Consultation run from anywhere from $50, $75, and then you can do a monthly plan for your entire family to $300 to $400, whatever your ailment is, and I can help get you back on track. The money and proceeds goes towards my products, mental health boosts. It goes towards the attention. It goes towards the advanced multivitamins that I have. It goes towards this. It goes towards my other herbs I have. I have elderberry. I have colloidal silver. I'm looking for it, y'all. That's over there. I have B12. I have sea moss, and I have colon cleanse. And I do have the Divine 7 in stock. It's starting to get low, you all. So it may have to go on back order, but it's okay. You all will receive it. There are orders that's going out already. You all should be receiving it, if not by the end of this week, by the first of next week. For those of you all that did not pay for the priority shipping. And I know there are some that because of how much you purchased that, you don't have to worry about that. And so that helps me to give back to the disabled children with autism. It helps me to give back to our elders that's homeless. It helps me to pack my truck up and go give food downtown to our homeless people that's been out there through the rain, sleet, and snow. That helps me to do a lot of good things to make the impact that God allows me to make. That helps me to free me up sometimes. That when somebody calls and says, well, sister, I just need a prayer, or I need for you to help me with such and this, and I don't get nothing until next time. It helps me to be able to still give a consultation for them. I just lost my job, but I'm sick right now, and I just need to know what I need to do. I get some food stamps. I get enough to try to get this, that, and done. Yeah, I deal with all of those cases, all of it. My parents are elderly, and I don't have nothing, and I'm on a fixed income. We barely make ends meet, but I don't want to buy junk no more. Can you help me? Tell me what I need to do. I deal with all of those cases. Yes, I do. I just need some mental help because this is stressful. My family is stressing me out. I deal with those cases too. I deal with those situations too. I feel like taking my life. I don't see the reason to keep living. Oh, I promise you, after about 30 seconds, about 30 minutes, I can give you several reasons to keep living. Several. Some that you probably never even thought about because you're stressing so much. I understand. Fully understand. I love you all, and I want you all to be blessed. Take care of yourself. Hey there, Sister LaShawn. Please give me an update. Somebody said put your Cash App information in there, the number, and I have to get set and ready so I can learn how to be more and more on time and not on what they call Black folks' time. That means it's on no man's time. So I'm trying here. Yet I'm out. Unless there's no questions, then I have to go in. I'm going to put this into the chat. I know I should have had that in there in the beginning. Did I do that right? I put caps, you all, because there are some people that cannot see as well. That's the reason why I do caps. I'm not being lazy. So, but then I know I have to put it in there right. It's Sister Jamaica told me I have to put it in there the right way because of it boots me out. It boots me out. Oh, she said, I'm doing okay. Sister LaShawn, thank you all for the prayers to Sister LaShawn. She said she's doing okay, just a little sore. Okay. So a little bit of inflammation there. Okay. I look forward to having an updated consult from you. Okay. That's something. I had no string at all. I couldn't see all the faces I was making. Maybe that was a good thing because I know that was heavy and that was deep and I know it was heavy. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Sister Jamaica was coming on something else. I hope she made it in. I think she probably didn't. And I'm trying to put in there the Cash App. I try to do this the right way because I ain't got so used to doing the caps, y'all. Yes, I have. I pray there's something that I said for those who's watching and those of y'all that have, gotten frustrated with the process, that it helps the spirit. It helps calm the spirit. And remember that we all are on this health and wellness journey. We all are on it, and we do need one another. We need encouragement. We need the enlightenment of this. This is not an easy task. It's not. I know, you all know, I know personally that it's not. It's not. I don't take it no lightly just because I haven't been overweight. I don't take it lightly at all. Pray for my Uncle Bashard. He's been diagnosed with diabetes. And he took to Facebook. I think he just did not realize the extent. I told you I have a huge family. He's my father's brother, and he's been diagnosed, and he wants to know what he can do to eat to live so that they don't put him on insulin. So you all pray for me as I help him because he's a very supportive uncle. I love him dearly. He's funny. And remember, I told you from my father's side, there's 24 of them that we can count. Do y'all see that face? So it's many. It is minty. Yeah, let's say I said it the way I meant minty. It's minty. That yes, if you all could keep him in prayers. that he be able to lose the weight and discipline himself and how to eat to live, so that he can preferably add to his life as well. He's a father, and he works in law enforcement as well. He does quite a bit there. All right, I love you all. I think I got it in there. Yep, I got it in there right. No, no. Oh, thank you so much. All right, you all. Peace and love. And remember to be healthy more in 2024. Be safe on purpose. And remember to eat to live, not just to die. Thank you for the hearts.